Good afternoon. This is Navy Old Salt Gamer. I think I got a really good episode for you today. If everything works right, if it doesn't work right, it could be exciting anyway. Remember to subscribe and like if you like these. This is going to be in my 101 series, but this is going to be a longer video. I don't know how long it'll be, but I think I have completely automated a rocket from gassing and charging and checking the cargo, setting the destination, going to it, launching, going to it, surveying it, mining it, returning, and landing. I have completely automated it, if I'm correct. So let's look at the code real quick. I know this can be kind of boring for some of you, but it's kind of important. So, destination selection dial. Now, that's this dial. What was that? That's this dial right here. Notice I have it set to 1. Now, I'll get into some other stuff here, but the dial setting 1. There's a reason for that. Umbilical switch. All this umbilical switch does is extend or retract the 3 umbilicals, and that is controlled automatically through this chip. All this chip is doing is reading that and extending and retracting, but it's all automatic. Okay, so let's get back into here. So there's a destination selection dial. I'm reading the rocket battery. Sorry about that. I'm reading the rocket battery. There's the umbilical level, and I keep saying level, so forgive me. Umbilical lever, the rocket engine, so I can start the rocket engine. The rocket avionics, because I'm going to be reading stuff from that. Then I have 2 rocket miners, so I've defined them, so I can control them both. Same thing with the scanners. I've defined them, so I can control them both. Now, I only have 1 cargo, but I also only have 1 pin left. So I defined the cargo in the big tank in case I needed another pin. I don't think I will. So there's the things that I'm reading from. Now, when I did this, I went down, okay, here's the steps I think I need to do a rocket completely in order. So you can read my notes here, but let's do this from the beginning. So at the start, I set the umbilical level, there you go, lever open to 1. So that makes sure that the umbilicals are extended and connected to the rocket. Back to this. Then I load the rocket battery ratio. If the ratio is less than 1 or fully charged, then it's just going to loop here until the battery is fully charged. It's just going to sit here and charge and charge and charge. Then this one is the cargo unloaded. I don't want to go back into space and mine with a partially full cargo. So here I load the ratio of the cargo into R0, and if the 0 is empty, so if it is greater than 0, it's going to loop. And it's going to stop until the cargo is unloaded. Then it comes down here is the rocket fuel loaded. I load the pressure of the big tank into R0. If it's less than 4990 or 49900, it's not fully refilled. Loop. Now, if it meets those 3 conditions, it goes down to set destination. This gets kind of tricky. Now, the destinations you are going to have to put in here manually. I may see if I can figure out a way to get those off the map. Not sure if I can. But once you get them in there, for example, I'm going to 1, which is a volatile. So now I could set that automatically with a simple code. You know, set the destination to dial 1, 250113, and I'll explain that in a minute. So I can do this automatically too after I do the surveying. For example, I know the destinations, I'm spun around, I know the destinations map of these because I've already surveyed it. I do not know the destination of these. So I'm going to have to go out here and survey it. And when I survey it, then I'm going to have to put the, as it is right now, I'm going to have to put these into my program because I do not know their locations. But I know all these locations from the launcher to, see that there's the locations. So the one I'm going to is this one. That is destination 1. Now, you see this. You ignore the dashes first off, and you can ignore all the zeros before the first significant digit. So destination 1, don't ask me why they did it this way, but this is how it works. Destination 1 would be 250113. Ignore everything else. And I'm pretty sure that's going to work from what I've researched. So destination 1, it's reading the dial here. I have it set to 1, so it's going to jump to dial 1. And it's going to load that destination code into the avionics. So save that destination code into the rocket avionics. Then it's going to skip all the rest of these because it's going to go to ready to launch. And down here, ready to launch. So what do I need when I ready to do the launch? I want to retract the umbilicals, otherwise I destroy them. So I save umbilical lever, open 0. So it retracts. Now I can change this to 5, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Yeah, I'll change it to 5 and reload it. Because I think that's going to be a little bit long of a wait. I experimented and they retract. Yeah, I'm going to leave it 10 seconds. Anyway, it retracts the umbilicals and it waits 10 seconds or 10 clicks. Usually that is 10 seconds. Then I want to launch the rocket. So I turned the rocket engine on 1. Now, I have this sleeping 5 here. It's not going to matter. I could probably put a tick here, but in the past in my programming, if I change a setting and I don't happen to wait a tick, I'm loading time to destination. Now, if it loads real quick, right after the rockets come on, it's going to be 0. So I have it sleep here 5 seconds to have the time to destination update before I read it. Hope that made sense. So I sleep 5 seconds, then I load the time to destination from the avionics into R0. If it does not equal 0, that means it has not arrived. So it's going to loop here until it arrives. Now that destination in the rocket thing here is this number right here. So you can see it's set to 0. So if it just scanned right through there real quick, it would say, oh yeah, I reached my destination. So I have it sleep so that updates. Close that. All right. So now it's waiting till it arrives at the destination I set. Once this is 0, I want to check automatically. I'm trying to automate all of this. Has the area been scanned? Now there's some tricks to this. First, I turn the rocket avionics to mode 3, which if you look in here, mode 3 is survey. That is the equivalent. I'm sorry for jumping back and forth there, but this is easier. That is the equivalent of hitting this button by setting it to mode 3. All right. So I set it to mode 3. I turn the rocket scanners on, and then I load rocket avionics survey. Now this is an interesting number. If it's -1, there's nothing there to survey. And basically what that's going to mean is if I go to this location, or this location, or a location where there's nothing to survey, it's going to kick back a number -0 in survey. So then I'm going to go to start mining. I also check If it's greater than, if there's something to mine, this is not going to be -1, so I don't have to worry about it. If it's greater than 10, it's already surveyed. And let me explain that part, because that's tricky. If I go to this, and set that destination, which I really don't want to do because I wanted it to do it all automatically, so I'll set it back to the launch site when I'm done. Notice this. Total survey points generated at this location. This is a percentage. And I want it to go to 1,000%. So I can get the bonuses. Now 1,000%, this is a float. If you look at survey, survey. Where is it? There it is, survey. Well, it's a float value. It's in here somewhere. But it's a float value, which means it's a decimal or a movable value is basically what it means, but it's a decimal. So in order to read that at 1,000%, I move the decimal point over 2 and it becomes 10. So once it becomes 10, it's actually 1,000% mined. Or 1,000% surveyed. So I know I'm done. Then I'll go to start mining. Start mining, I switch it to mode 2. Same as 3 up here, except for mode 2 is mining. I turn the scanners off. I look at the total quantity in rocket avionics. Now the total quantity, I don't know if I can display that here. I cannot. The total quantity, if there's nothing left of mine, it's a number right here when it's mining. If there's nothing left to mine, that'll be 0. So if I run out of mining, ores to mine, or there are no ores to mine, total quantity will be 0. And if it's 0, then I want to return home. Otherwise, turn the rocket miners on, and then I load the ratio of the cargo into R0. Now this is a batch because I remember I only have one, but I defined it. When you define something, the cargo, you have to use load batch. So I load batch, where am I? Yeah. Load batch cargo. If it's not 1, which means it's not full, if it's less than 1, start mining. So this is going to loop until my cargo bay is full. Once it's full, return home. I actually should put this up here, but that's okay. Return home. So how do I return home? First, I shut the miners off. I turn the mode back to 1, which is normal or idle, basically. I set the rocket avionics destination code 4013. If you come here and look at my launch site, 4013. So it's going to return it, set the destination back to my launch site, 4013. And I turn the rocket engine on. Now I sleep 5 here for the same reason. I wanted to give it time for the time to destination to settle. So this is basically the same loop. I'm checking, is it home? Well, if the time to destination is greater than 0, it's not home. So this is going to keep looping until this becomes 0, which means it's back at the launch site. And then I extend the umbilicals and start the whole process over again, theoretically. So I hope you understood all that. Now, let's check a couple things. The rocket. Now my 3 conditions. Remember the big tank? I'm at 50. So that's good. The battery is full. Ratio 1. So that's good. Cargo storage. Ratio 0. So it's empty. So if I hit this button and start the program, this should immediately close. And then these would retract. And 10 seconds later, or roughly, the rocket will launch. So let's see what happens. Wish me luck. That's a good sign. There we go. Now we wait 10 seconds. Do, 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 do. There it goes. All right. So now if I look at the map, look, it set the destination to the one that I wanted. And it's on its way. Now if you look at the rocket, the destination code is not 0. So now it's cycling over getting to destination in my program. So let me check real quick. I don't have any errors. I do not have any errors. Excellent. So now I can just wait as it goes. I apologize for the waiting, but this isn't going to be too long. 60 seconds, so a minute. When I get there, it should start survey. Now this location, let me go to that location. Now I'm trying not to hit anything that'll start something, so there is no survey information at that location. So when I get there, because the survey is 0 and there is something to survey, it should automatically kick the survey mode into action in 14 seconds or so. Do, 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 do. So I'm going to go to location now. Oh, I have to refresh this. By the way, I think this doesn't refresh automatically, so you have to be careful. But you can see it did start scanning. See the survey buttons it hit. That's mode 3. So this is going to scan now. Here's your, it says percentage now. So there's 0%. I want this to get to 1,000, which should be the float 10. I'm not a math expert. So what I'm going to do now, this is going to take a little while. So I'll pause this until this gets to like 900, or if it stops prematurely. That was where it would stop if I really screwed up. That's float decimal point 1. So that's a good sign because it's still scanning. So let me pause it and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. This is about to go to 900 and then 2 more scans. It'll be over 1,000. So theoretically, and I may have to hit map and go back to location, but I'm going to leave my cursor right there. And I'm not going to touch anything. Theoretically, once it gets to 1,000, it should go from survey to mining, and the mining devices should turn on. I don't know if this updates on its own, or the screen here on the computer, or I don't know how it works. So we'll see. This would be right after this one. Here's the big test. Is it going to shut the survey off? Voila! It stopped surveying and it is now mining. Very cool. Now if I go to the rocket, yes, it shut the scanners off. Rockets are, my miners are on, of course. Now we go back to rocket, and the next thing it's going to check for, this is going to take a while, so I'll pause it. The cargo. Cargo small. There we go. So it's starting to go up. It's got 2 ores in there now. This is the ratio. This has to reach 1 for this process to stop, theoretically. We'll see if it works. But this is going to take a little while. In my book, you see I'm getting 40 ores each. This will go down really fast. I think they have the richness and the density go down too fast. You see now I'm down to 38. In one sweep I lost 2 ores. I guess I don't know how realistic that is. I kind of wish there just went down 1. I kind of wish these numbers went down slower while you're mining, but they don't. All right, so I can also monitor here. You see, I can come back to this site. This is the number I was talking about when this equals 0. There's no more mining left. I think that's how it works, or maybe when the density equals 0, but we'll have to see what happens. But I can come back here 4 times because this will be 5,000 when the this number here, total ore mined at location, will be 5,000 when my ratio is 1, because it's going to, well, maybe a little less than 5, or a little more than 5,000, because there's always 1 or so in the chute. As you can see, let's look at if I can explain this real quick. See, I got 990 there, so I should have 9 here. I only have 8. So there's 1 in process, so this may actually go over 5,000, but this will still be at 50 when it's done. All right, so I'm going to pause this. Oops. And see what happens when this is finished. See if it shuts this off and automatically returns. It theoretically should. I'll be back. One quick thing, I'm still mining. While I'm thinking of it, notice I have 6 settings here. How can I show that? I think I need a screwdriver. I may have to get food too while I'm doing it. It's going to take a while. Yes, I have a max of 6, but I said I only had 5 settings. Why is that? If you go up here, if you want your rocket to take a break, say your tanks are full, I added an extra slot. So if it's on dial 6, it's not going to go to any of these calls, and it's just going to jump back to start. So if I wanted to idle the rocket, even if all these conditions are met, I set the dial to 6, and it won't take off. It'll just go loop in there. So that's why I have 6 positions, and that's how, matter of fact, I can do that now. Because when it gets back, I'm going to want it to idle. So I'll go to 6. So once it restarts, now the one problem with the program that I have written, you can't pull this chip out. It is in the process of running through the code on this chip. If I pull the chip out and put it back in, it's going to start over. And the rocket's going to be totally confused because I don't know what will happen, and I really don't want to know what happens. So the way I have the program written, you cannot pull the chip out while the rocket is in the air. And in an automated process, you wouldn't want to do that anyway. So there you go. I'll be back. Okay, so this is going to hit 49 on this sweep. So I'm going to go back to the rocket, and we're going to watch the cargo storage. Once this hits 1, lots of things should start happening. So we're going to watch this. This has to get to 50. And like I said, it's always 1 behind. I guess it's because there's some in the chute inside there. There's 49. So once it gets to 50, the miners should turn off, the destination will change, and the rocket will fire. And there we go. There we go. And my destination is look at that. How cool is that? Now if I go here, the scanners are off, the miners are off. Yeah, everything's good. It went to idle. And now I land and see what happens. Now this is not going to take 50 seconds, but I'm not going to go away on this because I'm curious. Because I'm just now starting to land. So if you go to the engine, you'll see as it gets closer to the ground, the throttle decreases and you start using a ton less fuel because you're slowing down. It's in the process of slowing you down. This is the automatic way of doing it. There are other ways of doing it, but since I want everything to be automated, this takes longer. See how the time's going up? Because my ground velocity is slowing. So as it slows, this distance goes down slower, and this goes up to a certain point, and then it starts to go down. It may have leveled off now. Yeah, now it's starting to go down. And my throttle is at 35, which is probably, 34. It shouldn't go a whole lot lower than that, I wouldn't think. But we'll see what happens. So I'm down to 90, 1001, 1002, 1000. It's still not at 1 second, but it's getting closer. Now, once this hits the ground, if everything works right, it should land, shut everything off. I do not have it set to automatically unload, which would be like one line of code or something, or maybe two. But I don't have that automated. That's a tiny deal compared to the rest of this. We got 1 minute left. Now these things, the automated method is pretty, using an NCIS term, inky. Because this will say impact at some point. Well, I don't, that's a scary word. I really wish they wouldn't use impact. But my throttle's at 34, so I'm safe. If this was at 100, I'd be in big trouble. Because that means I cannot slow my descent down anymore. So I'm at 20 seconds. If I go to map, or if I just exit this and look up, there it is. Is that it? No, that's not it. There it is. So this should land. Everything should shut down. And then that should close automatically. And everything should start from scratch again. It'll refill the batteries. That's looking promising. It'll refill the batteries, refill the tanks, wait until either I or the program empties the cargo. Oh, it did go out. So I must have missed it. Okay, well, it worked. From start to finish, it worked. And you can see the battery should be coming back up. It is. The cargo is still full. I could control that from here. I could turn this on and set this. Oh, it already is. Now, if my chutes are full, this is going to stop going down. This will stop going down, I mean. But I can, like I said, all I have to do is go into rocket avionics, or storage, I mean, and hit open one. And you can see it did. So my chutes are full. So I have from there to there, over to here, stuffed the volatile ice. And then you see I am at 63,000 moles. So that's 2 rocket trips. So that's why I want this to sit for a while. I wanted to finish emptying that, which it would have done automatically. So I could set the... Why don't I do that? I could set... I have it written down. Oxygen is setting 3. So I could put this at 3. And once everything is automatically finished, excuse me, it'll automatically relaunch. So there you go. Automatic rocket from start to finish. The only thing I have to do manually is set this, which I can easily automate once I get all the locations in here. There's no way around that I'm aware of. If I had a database, now they have, if you do a search online, they have all the locations for, I think it's the Mars maybe, and the asteroids. They don't have them for the moon, so maybe I'll edit that and add them. Check something real quick. I have to look at the video when I get done, but it kind of seemed like it. Maybe I need to put a sleep in here too. We did it so dang fast. Sleep 5. And I'll export. Now, if I take this out and put it back in, it's not going to matter at this point because the rocket's on the ground. It's just going to get caught in the same loop again at the beginning because the battery might be full, but the tanks aren't full and the cargo's not empty. But there you go. Let me know what you think. I think this is a big deal. This was fun to do. It was far easier than I thought it would be to do. I have a ton of volatiles. Probably should set another thing up, but another ice crusher, but I'll just let it go like that. And once this, like I said, once this completely unloads, let me see, got in there, half empty. So once that goes down to 0, the rocket will automatically relaunch. Just sitting here waiting. Tell me what you think. I think that's pretty cool. Probably, oh, this is in the process of cycling. Let's see what I got here. Now this has been quite a long time. I have 26 iron, 10 copper, 4 gold, and I've been dumping my miscellaneous stuff in here and just picking it up and merging it every once in a while. But there you go. That's my extra stuff that I keep carrying around, and I just chucked it in there. So that's it for today. Automated rocket from start to finish. Remember to subscribe and like, and you have a good day.